Good evening and welcome to Sunday Politics and Trust TV, your platform for in-depth conversations on politics, policy and governance. I'm Shafi'u Suleiman. Tonight, we'll take a look at Nigeria's opposition politics, which is currently witnessing what some would call an onslaught in the hands of the nation's ruling party, the APC, following what appears like a scramble to join its fold by desperate politicians seeking cover, relevance, or even political survival. Recent high-profile defections of a PDP governor, former running mate, presidential running mate, and others with more political bigwigs expected to follow suit has dampened an initial momentum gathered around coalition and alliance talks between opposition elements. This is coming on the heels of fragmentations and grumblings in major opposition political platforms due to internal party disagreements and unending litigations that leave the parties in tatters while jeopardizing the ongoing moves to form a formidable opposition against the APC ahead of the 2027 elections. On Sunday Politics tonight, we ask, is Nigeria's opposition in disarray? What is the fate of much talked about formidable alliance? Is the ruling APC defying the so-called political gang-up? And to provide answers to these and other questions, we're hoping to be joined in a moment by the former Minister of Youth and Sports, Barrister Suleiman Dalung, is one of the key opposition elements in Nigeria. And also, by going by the tradition of the program on Sundays, open the telephone lines for you in the course of the conversation to also make your inputs. But before we start the program, let's take a short break. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on Sunday Politics. And just like I said earlier, we have in the studio former Minister of Youth and Sports, Barrister Suleiman Dalung, one of the key political opposition elements in Nigeria. It's good to have you once again on the platform.
Well, good evening, Nigerians, and good evening to you, Shafi'u.
Right. Nigerians are watching with keen interest, development in the polity, especially in respect to this wave of defection, if you like. It is coming, a couple of weeks, so to speak, or months after an initial momentum was gathered around, the much talk about alliance talks between opposition elements. The defection of Madam Nasir El-Rufai, former Kaduna State Governor, to the SDP, and then the follow-up, in respect to mobilization around these talks, has generated a lot of anxiety. But then it soon all died down, some would say, going by the current political realities. What do you make up with the developments?
Well, to put it under proper perspective, or into proper perspective rather, the Nigerian political culture is predominantly that of transactional politics. You have a political elite that see politics as business. So when election approaches, they raise funds through loans, through godfatherism, through all sorts of means to finance elections. And that explains the do or die spirit in it. And so when they are declared winners, or sometimes they declare themselves winners, or in conjunction with the electoral empires through technical glitch, they are returned as winners, they concentrate on recouping their investments. And that explains their insensitive attitude to governance. And even when the so-called electors who are purported to have generated the votes are living in serious squalor, abject poverty, they will always tell you that, oh, they've no regret. So that is the type of politics that is at play in Nigeria. And so when you have the gale of defections like you are talking about, it is either defections because of betrayal in the transactional politics, and once that betrayal takes place, there is frustration and then relocation in order to be able to deal with whosoever would have betrayed. That is also one factor. Another factor is genuine political migration, because of the very narrow political space where genuine politicians are, and they will want to migrate to wider and better political spaces to reorganize and see how they will get power. So this is what is playing out, and then you have the.
Are we seeing the latter now? Because many are, concerned that there could be some sort of influence on the part of the ruling party, to woo these opposition members, either by trying to coerce them, into joining the party for certain reasons, either, sort of political cover. For some, we talk about the transactional nature of the politics and all of that. With the ones we've seen so far, would you say they are genuine, desire to either join, groups that you think will align with your ideology, or it's just about, getting into the fold of the ruling party to take advantage of some of this, some of these benefits that we're talking about?
The general attitude of a non-performing political party in government, or a despotic party that is in government with its political leaders, is to generally try to narrow the political space and coerce everybody to join the bandwagon of the party. So the APC from 2023 till date had performed woefully, and they have conducted different researches, and they have very good opinion of the thinking of Nigerians. So knowing too well that, in a genuine and a popular contest, in fact, if they lose, it's better, but they will be thrown out. So how do they now save themselves? So they now want to annex the mechanism of the state governors, so that they will use the security during elections and the governors to manipulate the electoral process. So the negotiation of getting governors from the opposition party is influenced by one of such reasons. Then the second reason is that the godfatherism politics of Nigeria had sitting governors whose godfathers had very serious corruption cases. Those governors ordinarily would have not migrated, but their godfathers had come under intense pressure, and the EFCC will be used to go after them. So they now have to mount pressure on their godsons who are sitting governors to migrate to the ruling party, because Oshomole, the former governor of Edo State, had made it categorically clear that even if you have looted the whole central bank of Nigeria, if you join the APC, your sins are forgiven. So the APC is...
Is that what is playing out? Because spokespersons of the government, quite a number of officials in the government have debunked this claim that some of these politicians that are joining the APC are joining the APC with good intention. Perhaps they must have seen, what the government is doing in terms of transforming the lives of Nigerians. In fact, they said, they want to identify, with the level of achievement the government has made so far. So they want to be part of the transformation and all of that. Do you think it could be one of them described the president as a beautiful bride, everybody want to associate with him?
Well, if it is coming from the side of government and their spokespersons, I'd either say that they have one of the best propaganda machine, which is even far worse than Joseph Goebbels of the Nazis machine.
How would you compare such? We're talking about democratically elected.
Yeah, no. Democratically elected is a nomenclature. So democracy is through the practice of the leaders. It's not through what they claim it is. So democracy is the conduct of the political leadership and how they administer, relying on the rules of the game, constitutional behavior of the leadership in tandem with, like Nigeria section chapter 2. Yeah. No Nigerian leader is supposed to fail because chapter 2 is an enough manifesto.
It's clearly defining.
Yes, it's an enough manifesto for anybody who is elected. So the aspect of government trying to refer to the president as a bride is just mere propaganda of trying to defend. But if the party is that good, why are the governors defecting? Why are the common people not defecting? In normal democracy, which I know.
But we're talking about politics here.
No,
we're talking about
I'm also talking about politics because I've been into this game since 1978. We know that a popular political party will receive for common people. You will have a local leader coming up on the rostrum to tell you, I have 1,000 people with me.
Yeah, but some of these politicians are decamping along with their supporters and in a particular state. The entire structure.
Who are you referring to?
The entire structure now move to the.
No, there is no
APC
any structure. Let me tell you this: the governors had deceived themselves that they had moved into APC. The people had not moved. I'm telling you this authority. It's not an opinion. Go, I
know what I'm saying is, how did you get the temperature? Because you haven't gone to the states to see, the level of support, grassroots support such governors have.
No, you see, I have connections across this country. I can tell you today, if something happened in a particular location.
In Delta, for instance, you're saying that the people are not...
I can tell you authoritatively the thinking of the people. You can see that those who are coming out to speak are either former or retired army officers coming to say, I'm leading my people. These are people that when they are in offices, there's nothing they did to the community. But they're coming out today to say, oh, I'm leading my people to APC. Why are the common people not saying we are going into APC because there's a bride there?
Okay, we'll get to all of that. But some will say, it's a lapses on the part of you, the opposition politicians, for instance. We've witnessed what happened, in the build-up to the 2015 elections. We've seen genuine desire, if you like, of political opponents or other opposition figures across party lines, to come together and restore power. And it was done seamlessly. They were able to change the PDP, which has ruled at that point in time for 16 years. But it appears this one is dead on arrival. Should that be the case? Because, just moments after this talks have started, momentum is being generated, gathered, the frenzy, the anxiety about it. And then the master strategy, some will say, just came with his top-notch kind of strategies to dismantle.
I have said this on many occasions. In 2027, it is not a political party that will defeat Tinubu. It's the Nigerian people that will defeat Tinubu. Tinubu's grievances is not with the politician. It's with the common people in this country. They are dying because of hunger. If you go to the villages today, there are no more schools. Children of the poor do not go to school because they cannot afford. If you go to the universities, their children have all left the universities. If you talk of healthcare delivery, it has collapsed. Insecurity. So the grievances, the political grievances, is not between the tinubu and the political elites. No, the political elites are also trying to save themselves because they don't want a situation where the masses will rapture into a serious riotous situation that will consume them. So they are just coming up together to make sure that they give some semblance of hope. But if you go into Nigerians, the local people, and stay with them, you will feel the heat and the bitterness of the people. So, you know, the governors that are migrating and the members of the National Assembly, for the members of the National Assembly, they are legislative aides of the executive. So even if they change or they do not change,
that's how you call them.
Yes, it is.
But,
but it's not. It's not that
they have their.
No, I didn't call
independent.
them. Were you not there when the budget was being presented?
We have three arms of government.
No, but were you not there?
The legislature is an independent arm of government.
It's not. They have popularly told Nigerians that they are legislative assistant of the president.
Where was that said?
Yeah, when the budget was presented, a 2025 budget was presented, and immediately on citing the president, they stood up. Now, if they were represented, genuine representatives...
Isn't that normal?
Yeah, but I'm saying that...
To respect Mr. President.
Yeah, it is normal, but they would have sung the national anthem if they were genuine representatives. But they all went on and started singing one song, which the way I heard it, people have told me that is not how I heard it. Because I heard them singing, on your dollar we shall stand.
Well. I actually didn't hear about
no, that's how I heard the song.
Maybe that's your interpretation.
No, it's not interpretation. You know, the human ears are different. So the National Assembly is not pretentious. You look at how they approve the state of emergency in Rivers. The Constitution is very clear. Section 305 is very, very clear. Those who will approved the state of emergency proclamation must be 2/3 of the members of the National Assembly.
What was wrong with the voice vote?
They are going to approve it with a vote, by voting. Yeah. But what we saw happen there, those that gathered were even up to 1/3 of the National Assembly, and then, of course, like I said, their status have not changed until they prove me wrong. They were there. People were trying to raise objection for a
it was put discussion. To a vote voice, and then the ayes have it.
No, the voice vote is unknown to the Constitution when you come to Section 305. It's unknown.
Well, I wouldn't want us to dwell much on that because the matter is in court right now, I'm sure. So we'll leave that for the courts to decide as to whether it was done correctly or wrong.
No, the general principle can be discussed, but we're not going into the merit and demerit. We're only discussing the general principle of Section 305, which is written in black and white.
Okay. In other words, you're trying to say that the legislature is not playing its role as it should be in a democracy, checking the excesses of the executive. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that for now, they are legislative assistant of the president. But until when they will be representative of the people to play the role as contemplated by Montesquieu, the doctrine of the separation of powers, where they will exist as an independent arm of government to check the excesses of the executive.
Well, okay, let's look at the configuration, if you like, or the schemings. Some would say it is not wrong for the ruling party perhaps to also make moves, to woo opposition into its fold, just like the opposition is also ganging up, to wrestle power. But looking at the two sides, of the divide, the challenge seems to be more on the opposition, because they appear to be in disarray, so to speak. No proper coordination, no proper organization. People are, not wanting to identify. Quite a number of people have been distancing themselves from this opposition, talks, if you like. Just recently, a governor, I think Yobe State Governor, was distancing himself, from joining these talks. There were three other governors who were said to also be hobnobbing around the opposition talks, but, quite a number of people have been distanced. Where is the problem? Is it that the opposition are not getting their act together?
I don't blame some of you because the teaching of history has been abrogated in our schools. So we have no good knowledge of history. Even in 2015, the mobilization of governors into the APC was not at the beginning. It wasn't. It was when the entire mobilization has crystallized into a proper political action that governors joined. And don't forget.
So you see, don't
forget.
Yes.
Tambuwal, who was the speaker, joined on the last day of the grand final of presidential election. So it's a strategic move. Even these governors that are distancing themselves, when it will be matured, of course, no politician will tell you that I'm going to join. Because everybody has a certain agenda. Just like the president has a certain agenda of going around to Leo.
But he's already unleashing his strategies, and they are working.
No, the strategy of the president is working because the political elites are not even up to 1% of the population of Nigeria. The opposition is concentrating on the people. This is why you miss the whole point. It's not the same strategy like what was used in 2015. No politician played the same card twice. What I know is going on,
there's a grassroots mobilization of the people.
The level of mobilization, I'm aware and I'm involved, and I know. I just laugh when I hear the journalists saying, "Oh, he's crumbling." To what extent do you have knowledge about what's happening?
Well, but on the surface, people are actually seeing what is happening. Before the master stroke, if you like, of the APC ruling government, we've seen a lot of talks around, big guys are joining, governors are joining, other politicians are joining, and all of that. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar was also seen around this. Peter Obi was seen around it. Konkoso is now pulling out, if you like. Just recently he was with the president. And then the body language and his comments, clearly shows that he might likely just announce in the next couple of days. So where are we?
I am a revolutionary politician, and I will not help the journalists with the strategy of what we are doing. Because all that you are trying to do is, let us put our cards so that, government will know the next move too. But I know as a fact that what we are doing, we are very, very comfortable. You see, during the build-up to the bad governance protest, the security came and occupied my house and said, we understood you were part of it. And when they knocked my door and came in, I welcomed them and I said, I am a protester. And they were shocked. I gave them seats and I started lecturing them on the protest. They looked so stupid because all that they knew about the protest, it was just 1% of what was happening. I asked them one question. Do you know where the meeting of the protest has been taking place? They kept quiet. I told them, I said, okay, were you aware that last night we were on meeting online with 1 million people? They kept quiet. So you just come.
You mean the intelligence network of the government, of the state is not working?
If it is working, bandits cannot be parading themselves with guns and killing and kidnapping people. If their intelligence is working, they cannot go and you have mercenaries going to Plateau to kill over 57 people, relocated them and take over 100-something villages. If the intelligence is working. So the intelligence is either, like I know from, we have one of the best intelligence officers in Nigeria, but their greatest problem is that the politicians hate intelligence. So when you tell them, this is about going to happen, they will start blowing long grammar and they will tell you, we're going to, we have a meeting in Abuja, we have this, and then they will abandon the intelligence and leave, and then these things will happen. So it is just failed leadership. And this failed leadership that is not taking cognizance of intelligence is also misunderstanding the build-up of the opposition. What they want to do is, they want to see the opposition gathering together so that they can now see who to call and buy. We're not going to give them the opportunity.
But some people are already losing hope, so to speak. Within the PDP, quite a number of chieftains in the PDP that felt that that party may not, come back to life after this, has been happening to it in terms of the wave of defection and so on, and then the internal crisis, which has festered for quite some time now. And that's what's happened to other political parties as well. The NMPP has been in crisis. The Labour Party has also been in crisis until recently. And some say that was also strategic. The fact that the Supreme Court judgment favored the 2023 presidential candidate and his team, Governor Okowa and all, Governor, his governor now, is it Imo, that group, that came up with that, what do you call it now, the caretaker committee led by Ninadi Usman. Some say it was deliberate. They were handed over the party in order to discourage them from joining the fold of the opposition and all of that. The NMPP too, we've seen what is happening. The founder of the party has regained, the stronghold, the party, and then we are beginning to see Kwankwaso also trying to move out of it. So some say all of this were deliberately done to weaken, the political party so that this sort of coalition would not make any impact.
The crisis in APC is more than any political party. The crisis in APC.
How?
The crisis in APC is like a boil. You understand me? Growing. When it will erupt, it will scatter the party. So this idea of going around...
there are disgruntled people. People, we haven't seen people who are...
There are so many disgruntled people in APC that are waiting for the next opportunity. There are so many people that invested their hard-earned monies that I know personally in bringing this government that are very bitter. You see, the advantage I have in Nigeria is I'm a founding member of PDP and I'm also a founding member of APC. I was with Chief Solomon Lara.
Which party do you belong to? Because I didn't want to ask you this question.
I am now a member of the Social Democratic Party. I'm there about 3 or 4 years in the party. So I know very well.
So you left the Labour, but at some point...
No, I'm not joined the Labour Party for one day.
Okay.
Let me tell you, the PDP is intact. The PDP is only facing a shake-off. There are leeches, political leeches, that move into the party for their personal interests. And the party trusted them with power. So these leeches are the one they are now trying to reposition themselves. They will all shake off. The party is intact. The genuine members of the party are there. All those who came for tickets of governors, they will go to where they belong. The party will reorganize and align properly, because what will happen in 2027 is there is going to be a coalition of political parties with a common purpose, like what happened in Senegal. And the tsunami cannot be stopped. Because the government in Senegal could not stop the tsunami. It went buying everybody to join the party. It was arresting people and locking them. It pocketed the electoral body. But it was defeated.
No, but looking at, because there must be a vehicle that will convey all of this, in the end. Even this SDP you are talking about, there has been concerns around it. The fact that the current president himself was, at some point, also part of it. Some even see it as his own,
There's nobody in PDP and APC that was not that has been in politics that was not a member of either SDP or NRC. I joined the SDP in 1989. Tinubu contested and won. Atiku was a member of SDP. So it's only those who joined politics, maybe during the 1999, that did not know about the SDP. So anybody saying, "Oh, Tinubu was part of the APC," is just trying to be politically correct. But it's the second oldest political party after PRP.
Yes, even though it was rebranded, if you like, or reintroduced. Not the original SDP that we know. There was some tinkering, along the line.
Is it the nomenclature that was tinkered? Is it the manifesto? What was tinkered with? It's Social Democratic Party that won the election and was annulled. It's still the SDP. PRP is still PRP.
By the name, yes. Okay. Let's look at, because there are also concerns around, what some call state capture. He seems to be confident about the power of the people, the power of the votes, But there are also concerns around that. Some think, that with what is going on, some signposts before the election, along the electoral system itself, there could be some shifts that may not allow the votes to count. I don't know if you have such a concern.
Well, 2027 may not be about votes to count, but the establishment with all this conspiracy around all the relevant agencies that are involved will just be forced to surrender.
You mean the institutions? Because
yes.
There has been this concern around institutional grabs
very
and
good.
all of that.
They will surrender. This is just very simple, like I told you. Unless hunger, poverty, unemployment is addressed, and it cannot be done in the next few years. Even if it is done, Nigerians will consider it as a ploy. Nigerians have been taken as a ride for too long. I kept referring you to what happened in Senegal. The opposition leader was arrested and locked. One of the opposition leaders, the young man who was arrested and locked, who they felt he was not a threat, they released him. The opposition beat them hands down. This group of people that are migrating.
But you're talking, there is difference in terms of the political dynamics in that country. And
what are they?
Even the number.
Yes.
You can compare Senegal with Nigeria. Nigeria has, what do you call it? A very complicated kind of political arrangement.
Yes.
Multi-party arrangement.
Yes.
And so on and so forth.
These were the same complexities that played out in 2015. I'm only telling you, I'm just giving you this expo as a jam question, that we are not bothered. This government, even if they like, they can go around and have the whole governors, they come to APC. We're not bothered. I will only be bothered when Nigerians, they come to APC. But like I assured you, you can send your team to go to Delta and interview.
But they have quite a number
people.
of Nigerians in their register. They also have ordinary Nigerians in their register, talking about running into millions, as they say. So you think that the grassroots people, the ordinary Nigerians, are also not?
Listen, you see, when you discuss politics as if it's academics, Delta had been a PDP state since 1999.
That's right. Actually, almost all the states in
very
the
good.
Southeast.
Very good. Now, those who were 10 years in 1999 did not know any political party. You are waking up today as a governor, a beneficiary of their mandate, to go and tell people, some of them are older than you, that, oh, come and follow us. We want to go and join APC. It's not going to work. So the governor with his government, they can go because maybe they have the pending FCC cases, they can run and go to safe haven. But the people have nothing to fear. So why would they go there? Now, you see, when these governors move, there are also genuine leaders who were rigged out of the primaries in the party. They will not go anywhere. These genuine political leaders that have the people are still in PDP, they will not go anywhere. So don't take what you see happening as something to worry about. I want to assure you that unless Nigerians are captured, everything that you see here is abracadabra. It goes to nothing.
Well, even though that's your perspective, but then we've seen opposition figures also coming out to say that there is significant, improvement, if you like, or there are certain things that are being injected by this government that would endear them to the people. For instance, I read somewhere, I don't know whether it is true actually, that a former governor of Kano State, now the leader of the Konkosiya movement, has said that no opposition gang up will unseat President Bola Tinubu. In fact, he was making reference to some of the what he felt, were revolutionary in terms of his achievements. He was talking about a CNG introduction. He was talking about, certain policies, that the government is coming up with. Do you think, opposition themselves, even within the opposition, there are people who believe that genuinely, without any fear of coercion, the government is doing well.
No, I've told you here that Tinubu has done very well for buying an Airbus for himself, worth $150 million. He has done very well.
At the same time,
for buying a Cadillac for himself.
He has also channeled.
He has also done very well.
Money is into building highways.
No,
highways.
Can you allow me to evaluate? You see, he has done very well to spend 21 billion to build a residence for his vice who has abandoned it. He has done very well to use 550 billion to give the National Assembly to buy SUVs. He has done very well to give money to his son to carry cooked food during Ramadan.
Isn't it part of the Ramadan palliative? Is it wrong to feed the people?
They are part of the palliative, carrying cooked food to northerners while giving 500,000. So these achievements are the one the former governor is referring to. The holistic achievement, how they have benefited from this government, how they have shared today. So when somebody is talking about, I always accept that they have done very well. They have even renovated houses for the president in Lagos and everywhere. That is an achievement. But how does that translate to the lives of fellow Nigerians? Today,
the food prices are coming down. The inflation is coming down and all of that. Isn't that also an impact?
The food prices are coming down. Excellent. What happened? We are aware that government imported food from outside into the country to crash the prices of food. Meanwhile, local farmers who had borrowed money to farm now had the prices of their product crash, meaning that the local economy had been destroyed. Therefore, how many people will be able to go to farm? Adding to the number of people that are having grievances with the government. So I think, for me, if you want to talk about the achievement, I have acknowledged this achievement. They are there for everybody to see. You can see the president with a 200-seater Airbus converted into and customized for him. You can see it, and he's going to France with it. I think because of the comfort of the Airbus, he travels even outside to think about this country.
Is it not an asset for Nigeria? Is he going to take it to Lagos?
I have admitted that it is. But the question will be that when it is time to vote, how many people have entered that Airbus that will see it as an achievement? Except those politicians who are trying to move to his party that have been, they use it to carry them from point A to B, that will tell you that the achievement.
Right. Okay, let's involve Nigerians because, the program is interactive. Let's hear from Nigerians what they feel about, this shift, or if you like, what is happening in the polity in respect to the changing nature of the political dynamics, especially in respect to these defections among political bigwigs. The number to call is on your screen right now, so you can call and share your thought with us. Agree or disagree with former Minister Suleiman Dalung on his assessment, if you like, of the government 2 years down the lane. Some say there is respite, looking at what has happened in the last year. In this second year, there has been some substantial, reduction in even the hardship people face and all of that. But you seems not to be feeling the impact.
No, it's not that I'm not feeling the impact. If there had been reduction...
Okay, I understand we have a caller. Just a moment. Hello. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello?
Okay, yeah, we are with you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Ibrahim Ocho, calling from Kebbi State.
Okay, Ibrahim, go ahead, please.
Honestly speaking, I want to recommend the former minister for speaking out the truth. Based on what is happening, if you look at his analysis, they are completely what has been going on with the president is actually out of the way. Sorry to say, you cannot be inflicting more difficulties in the life of Nigerians, and somebody will come out on air and tell us that we have experienced a great achievement. Talking about food inflation, it is only the food that is, it is only the grains that like maize, millet, and so things that we are looking at this and this, it is coming down. But the problem of the food issue will not only lie on just maize and millet and also uniform. No, we have other commodities that are of high. You cannot go to the market and buy a bag of rice now. You cannot. You cannot go to the market and buy cartons of spaghetti. You cannot. You cannot go to the market and buy other stuff. So what are we talking about when we talk about food inflation? We are still experiencing difficulties as far as food is concerned. Now, developmental structure. The president, the president of this Nigeria has turned us into like beggars, people that do not even know their tomorrow, not to think straightly because of the confusion all over the country. Today, the governor will come out on air and speak what his mind is telling him. Tomorrow, an SA that have been hired to shout on behalf of the president will come on air and say something that is of benefit to him. Next tomorrow, another minister will come up and say something that is of benefit to him. They have never think of Nigerians. What they are talking about, they are talking about the policy on paper without implementation. So there should be a kind of implementation more than just a beautiful arrangement on a paper. There should be a kind of implementation.
All right, thank you very much. I think you've made the point.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, what the caller is saying is there's a disconnect, between the people and the leaders or the politicians. They're not.
No, he's saying that there is distortion in terms of trying to reflect the reality of what is happening and government officials, because even when they come out, that they speak decoded tunes. But I was also going to add that if food has gone down, the price of food has gone down, why would Shafi'u go to Kano with cook food? Why? Is it that there are no women in Kano to cook? Or is that they don't trust the people? So you see, I don't want us to. You see, I am a realist.
Yes.
If the president has tried, I would say the president has tried. I would disagree with him on areas where we are disagreeing. I have said this many times. If I had wanted to be in this government, I would have been one of the highest persons in this government, because I was appointed by him as a member of the Strategic Council.
Are you lamenting not being part of it? Okay, we have another caller. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, go ahead. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, my name is Abdullah from Gombe.
Okay, Habila, go ahead.
Yes, good evening. Yes, I'm Abdullah from Gombe, sir.
Just go ahead.
I want to first appreciate the former Minister of Sport and for pointing out some issues and some points, sir.
Just go ahead. You can't do two things at the same time. You listen to your sub and then talk to us. Just go ahead and talk to us. Okay. I think we lost that call, perhaps. Okay. Yeah, you're making an analysis, an analogy.
Yes, I was saying that, look, if I had wanted to be part of this government, I had the opportunity. But I had my own concern too. That, like I said, having met the president then as an aspirant and having discussion with him, and I of course, you couldn't comprehend what I was saying. I had to warn myself. I was part and parcel of Buhari's campaign, presidential campaign. And that failed Nigerians, which I have admitted so many times. I cannot now come and then be part of another presidential campaign that will inflict more pains on Nigerians, so that when I die, Nigerians will go to my grave and say, here is the grave of a very stupid man. All we can remember him is for proceeding failed president.
But what you're saying is, you've already know have an issue that the government would not perform. Is that what you're saying?
From my discussion with him as an aspirant, one-on-one, I was convinced because I've been with president. So I know what leadership is all about. I know what is the presidential structure is.
Yeah. So you're on a trip with, Hajia Najatu, who said also after her meeting with him, she realized he has nothing for the North.
Yeah, I had the meeting with him.
All right. Okay. Before we round up, something very important. We're talking about the fragmentations, within the political parties themselves. You happen to be a member of the APC before now, and perhaps being part of the CPC bloc, right?
Yeah.
And you saw what is happening even within your political party. There is a crack between the CPC bloc.
The bloc, not the party.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if that is happening, that is to tell you the level, some would say the level of, schemings, even within the party itself.
No, understand what politics is all about. There are people who are waiting for appointment. And in the opposition, we excuse them because they're waiting for appointment. So you will not expect them to keep quiet. They may lose their chances. And if you look at those who came out from the CPC bloc to say, oh, we are supporting the president, there are about 4 or 5. So, yes.
But there are significant members, talking about former
not significant. Those that we saw, if they were greater than that, the CPC bloc had so many prominent people. But if about 4 of them or 5 of them in the picture I saw said, oh, we are supporting the president, these are people waiting for appointment. And I've been praying.
I think it is inconsequential.
It's very, very, I've been praying for them that God should answer their prayer. Let them get the appointment they're looking for. Some of them, if they're on the ambassadorial list, I pray that they should be given embassies that they can go and at least make some impact. I don't pray that they will wake up and be appointed SA. So, it's understandable, but the CPC bloc is intact. It's a very, very conservative bloc that is ideologically driven. It sustained the Buhari vote for over 3 elections consistently. So it's not a bloc whereby because you are waiting for appointment, you will come and say, oh, you have no. The bloc is intact.
So the 12 million bloc votes are intact. Is that what you say?
The 12 million bloc votes are not intact.
Okay.
Because the performance of Buhari had affected the votes.
Okay.
And what is currently happening had also affected. But you see, the votes more than 12 million is the Nigerian people that the president has inflicted pains. People are dying, and he said in his presidential maiden chat, you were here, you said, oh, that is going to be prophetic pronouncement. And I told you that if the president said anything meaningful, I'm going to migrate and die in Nigeria. But of course, when he disappointed Nigerians, you have not come to tell me, oh, are you a prophet?
That is your own estimation. Huh? As a Nigerian, you watch all of that happening. I think you can speak for yourself. Anyway, thank you very much, Barrister Suleiman Dalung, former Minister of Youth and Sports, for your perspectives on the platform tonight. We appreciate your coming.
Yes, the assurance I will only leave you with is that the opposition is very, very potent. It's being led by the Nigerian people, not any political party.
Right, okay. On that note, we come to the end of the conversation tonight. Join us on Sunday Politics. Next week, we'll be back with another interesting topic and personalities. And then for tomorrow, we'll be back with Daily Politics. Join us at 8 p.m. To get the fresh and latest developments in the polity. Thank you very much for staying with us. On behalf of the technical crew, my name is Shafi'u Suleiman.